Hello, this is Dr. Do again. This video is outside of my distance. Continue the Iliad by Homer. I'm going to continue to read. And then last, Achilles drew his father's spear from his socket stand, weighed, heavy, tough. No other Achaeans fighter could heft that shaft. Only Achilles had the skill to wield it well. Pelion ash it was, a gift to his father Peleus, presented by Charon once, hewn on Pelion's crest to be the death of heroes. Now the war team, Alcimus and Automedon, worked to yoke them quickly. They cinched the supple breast straps around their crest, and driving the bridle irons home between their jaws, pulled the rein back's butt to the bolted chariot. Seizing a glinting whip, his fist on the hand grip, Automedon leaped aboard. Behind the team and behind him, Achilles struck his stance, helmed for battle now, glittering in his armor like the sun astride the skies. His ringing, daunting voice commanding his father's horses. Rome beauty and charger, illustrious foes of light foot. Try hard, do better this time. Bring your charioteer back home alive to this waiting Argive comrades. Once we are through the fighting, don't leave Achilles there on the battlefield as you left Patroclus dead. The Rome beauty, the horse with the flashing hoofs, spoke up from under the yoke. Bowing his head low to his full mane came streaming down the yoke pads, down along the yoke to sweep the ground. The white-armed goddess, Hera, gave him voice. Yes, we will save your life this time too, master, mighty Achilles, but the day of death already hovers near, and we are not to blame, but a great God is, and the strong force of fate. Not through our want of speed or any lack of care did the Trojans strap the armor off Patroclus' back. It was all that matchless god, sleek-haired little son. He killed him among the champions and handed Hector glory. Our team could race with the rush of the west wind, the strongest, swiftest blast on earth. Men say, still you are doomed to die by force, Achilles, cut down by a deathless god and mortal man. He said no more. The furies struck his dome, but the fury running Achilles burst out in anger. Why, Rome beauty, why prophesy my doom? Don't waste your breath. I know, well I know, I'm destined to die here. Far from my dear father, far from mother, but all the same I will never stop, till I drive the Trojans to their bloody field of war. A high stabbing cry, and out in the front ranks he drove his plunging stallions. Book 20. Olympian gods in arms. So by the break the ships the Argive formed for battle. Armed around you, Achilles starved for war and faced by the Trojans' ranks along the plain's high ground. At the same time, from the peak of rugged, rigid Olympus, Zeus commanded Themis to call the god to council. Themis made her rounds, ranging far and wide, and summoned all to march to father's hall. Not a single river failed to come, none apart from the ocean stream that holds the earth in place, nor a single nymph who haunts the rustling groves and the river springs and the lush, grassy meadows, all flocked to the halls of Zeus, who gathered storms and found their seats in the colonnades of polished stone. Hephaestus built for brother Zeus with all his craft and cunning. And so the powers assembled deep in Zeus' house. Nor did the god of earthquakes fail to hear the goddess. Surging up from the sea, he came to join their ranks, took a seat in their midst, and probed Zeus' plans. Why now, great king of the lightning? Why summon the gods to council once again? Still some concerns for Troy's and Achilles' armies? Now that battle is set to burst in flames between them. But Zeus, who marshals the thunderheads, replied, God of earthquake, well you know my plans, the strategy in my mind. and why I call you here. These mortals do concern me, dying as they are. Still, here I stay on Olympus' throne aloft, here in my steep mountain cleft, to feast my eyes and delight my heart. The rest of you, down you go. Go to Trojan, go to Achilles, help either side, as the fixed desire drives each god to act. If Achilles fights the Trojans, unopposed by us, not for a moment will they hold his breakneck force. Even before now, they'd shake to see him coming. Now, with his rage inflamed for his friend's death, I fear he will raise the walls against the will of fate. And with that command, Zeus rose in incessant battle. Down the immortal launches to the field of action. Their warring spirits split the gods two ways. Hera went to mess the ships with Pallas Athena, Poseidon, who grips the earth, and Hermes, god of luck, who excels them all at subtle twists and tactics, and the god of fire flanked them, seeking power, hobbling along, but its shrunken legs moved nimbly. But Ares swept down to the Trojans, helmet flashing, and pacing him went Phoebus with long hair streaming, and Artemis, showering arrows, Leto and river Xanthus, and the goddess Aphrodite, strong with eternal laughter. Now, while the gods had still kept clear of mortal man, the Achaeans kept on gaining glory. Great Achilles, who held back from the brutal fighting so long, had just come blazing forth. Chilling tremors shook the Trojans' knees, down to the last man, terrified at the sight. The headlong runner coming, gleaming all his gear, a fire like a man destroying Ares. But once the Olympians merged with the mortal fighters, Strife, the mighty driver of armies, rose in strength, and Athena bellowed her stunning war cry, standing now at the edge of the deep dark trench outside the rampart. Now at thundering cliffs she loses her vibrant city cry, and Ares bellowed his cry from far across the lines, turning black as a whirlwind, rolling down now from the city's crest, commanding Trojans on and now, rushing along the Simois banks and scaling Sunlight Hill. So the blissful gods were rousing both opposing armies, clashing front to front, but then, in their own ranks, their overpowering strife broke out in massive war. Down from the high skies, the father of man and gods let loose tremendous thunder. From down below, Poseidon shook the boundless earth and towering heads of mountains. The whole world quaked. The slope of Ida, with all her springs and all her peaks, and the walls of Troy and all Achaeans' ships, and terror struck in the underworld. Hades, lord of dead, cringing and sprang from his throne and screamed thrills, fearing the god who rocks the ground about his realm. Giant Poseidon would burst the earth wide open now and lay bare to mortal man and immortal god at last the houses of dead, the dank, mouldering horrors that filled the deathless god themselves with loathing. I'm going to stop here today and continue next time. Thank you for watching.